So here we are, India. In the north, it is bounded by the lofty Himalayas, the Arabian Sea in the west, the Bay of Bengal in the east, and the Indian Ocean in the south. The north-south extent from Kashmir to Kanyakumari is about 3,200 km, and the east-west extent from Arunachal Pradesh to Kutch is about 2,900 km. If we talk about its locational setting, then India is located in the northern hemisphere. Okay, the southernmost point of the Indian Union, the Indira Point, got submerged under the sea water in 2004 during the tsunami. And if we talk about the size, then India has an area of 3.28 million square kilometer. India's total area accounts for about 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world. India is the seventh largest country of the world. India has a land boundary of about 15,200 kilometers. The total length of the coastline of the mainland, including Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, is like 7,516.6 kilometer. India is bounded by the Youngfold Mountains in the northwest, north, and northeast. From Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, there is a time lag of 2 hours. Okay, Rajasthan is the largest state. Goa is the smallest state in terms of area. No other country has a long coastline on the Indian Ocean as India has, and indeed, it's India's eminent position in the Indian Ocean which justifies the naming of an ocean after it. Mm, Since the opening of Suez Canal in 1869, India's distance from Europe has been reduced by 7,000 kilometers. Do you know the USA and Canada have six time zones extending from the Pacific coast to the Atlantic coast. The local time changes by 4 minutes for every 1 degree of longitude. If we talk about India's neighbors, then there are seven countries that share land boundaries with India. Across the sea to the south lie our island neighbors, which are Sri Lanka and Maldives. Sri Lanka is separated from India by the Palk Strait. Uh, India shares its land boundaries with Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh. There are two island countries, Sri Lanka and Maldives. Uh, if we talk about physical features of India, most volcanoes and earthquakes in the world are located at plate margins, but some do occur within the plates. If we talk about oldest landmass, means the peninsular part of India was a part of Gondwana land. The Gondwana land include India, Australia, South Africa and South America as one single land. Uh, if we talk about the convectional currents, split the crust into a number of pieces. This leads to the drifting of the Indo-Australian plate after being separated from the Gondwana land towards north. The northward drift resulted in the collision of the plate with the much larger Eurasian plate. Due to this collision, the sedimentary rocks which were accumulated in the geosynclines known as the tethys were folded to form the Mountain system of Western Asia and Himalaya. Okay, if we talk about what is Gondwana land, then it is southern part of the ancient supercontinent Pangaea with Angara land in the northern part. Okay, the Himalayan uplift out of the Tethys Sea and subsidence of the northern flank of the peninsular plateau resulted in the formation of a large basin. In a due course of time, this depression gradually got filled with deposition of sediments by the rivers flowing from the mountains in the north and peninsular plateau in the south. A flat land of extensive alluvial deposits led to the formation of the northern plains of India. Geologically, the peninsular plateau constitutes one of the ancient landmass on the Earth's surface. If we talk about physiographic division of India, then India can be divided into six physiographic regions. Okay, they are the northern mountains, means the north and northeastern mountains, the peninsular plateaus, Indo-Gangetic plains, Indian deserts, the coastal plains, which are in the east and west, and the last one is the islands. Okay, if we talk about the northern mountains, the north and the northeastern mountains, the Himalayas consist of a series of parallel mountain ranges. The general orientation of these ranges is from northwest to the southeast direction in the northwestern part of India. Himalayas in the Darjeeling and Sikkim regions lie in an east-west direction, while in Arunachal Pradesh they are from southwest to the northwest direction. In Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram they are in the north-south direction. The approximate length of Great Himalayan Range, also known as the 2500 km from east to west, and their width varies between 160 to 400 km from north to south. Himalayas are not only the physical barrier, they are also a climatic drainage and cultural divide. On the basis of relief, alignment of ranges, and other geomorphological features, the Himalayas can be divided into the following subdivisions. They are as follows. Okay, Kashmir or northwestern Himalayas, and Himachal and Uttaranchal Himalayas, Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalayas, and Arunachal Himalayas, and eastern hills and mountains. If we talk about Kashmir or northwestern Himalayas, then it comprises a series of ranges such as Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar, Pir Panjal. Okay, uh, and you know what? The northeastern part of the Kashmir Himalayas is a cold desert which lies between the Greater Himalayas and the Karakoram ranges. Great Himalayas and the Pir Panjal range lies the world famous valley of Kashmir and the famous Dal Lake. The Kashmir Himalayas are also famous for Kareva formations, which are useful for the cultivation of Jaffran, a local variety of saffron. This region is drained by the river Indus and its tributaries such as the Jhelum and the Chenab. The Kashmir and northwestern Himalayas are well known for their scenic beauty and picturesque landscape. Places of pilgrimage such as Vaishno Devi, Amarnath Cave, Charar etc. are also located here, and a large number of pilgrims visit these places every year. Srinagar, capital city of a state of Jammu and Kashmir, is located on the banks of Jhelum River. And you know what? In Kashmir Valley, the meanders in Jhelum River are caused by the local base level provided by the erstwhile larger lake, of which the present Dal Lake is a small part. The Himachal and Uttaranchal Himalayas. This part lies approximately between the Ravi in the west and the Kali, uh, a tributary of Ghagra, in the east. It is drained by two major river systems of India, that is Indus and Ganga. Tributaries of Indus include the river Ravi, Beas and Satluj. The tributaries of Ganga flowing through this region include the Yamuna and Ghagra. The northernmost part of the Himachal Himalayas is an extension of the Ladakh cold. If we talk about some important facts of this region, then kadevas are the thick deposits of glacial clay and other materials embedded with moraines. Okay, if we talk about important passes of Kashmir or northwestern Himalayas, then they are Jojila on the Great Himalayas, Banihal on the Pir Panjal, Fotula on the Jaskar, and Khardungla on the Ladakh range. If we talk about important fresh lakes, then they are Dal Vular, saltwater lakes such as Pangong and Moriri, Valley of Flowers. Then the famous Valley of Flowers is also situated in this region. In this region means what? In this region means Kashmir or northwestern Himalayas. Okay, Kashmir or northwestern Himalayas. The places of pilgrimage such as the Gangotri, Yamunotri, Kedarnath, Badrinath, and Hemkund Sahib are also situated in this part. The region is also known to have five famous Prayags. Okay, okay. Let's talk about Himachal and Uttaranchal Himalayas. Then here there is a Great Himalaya, or we can say Himadri. Then the northernmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas, or the Himadri. Himadri, it is most continuous range consisting of the loftiest peaks with an average height of 6,000 meters. The folds of Great Himalayas are asymmetrical in nature. The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite. It is perennially snowbound, and a number of glaciers descend from this range. The Himalayan mountains are divided into three main parallel ranges. Okay, Bhotias. Then, what is Bhotias? Let's discuss about it. It is in the Great Himalayan range. The valleys are mostly inhabited by the Bhotias. These are nomadic groups who migrate to Bugyals, the summer grasslands in the higher reaches during summer months, and return to the valleys during winters. Okay, let's discuss about Himachal or Lesser Himalayas. Then the range lying to the south of the Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalayas. The altitude varies between 3,700 and 4,500 meters and the average width is 50 km. The Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range. Uh, the Dhaula Dharan, the Mahabharat ranges are also prominent ones. This range consists of the famous valley of Kashmir, the Kangra and Kullu valley in Himachal Pradesh. This region is well known for its hill station. Uh, we are talking about what? Himachal or Lesser Himalayas. Means Himachal or Lesser Himalayas is known for its hill station. Okay, then let's talk about Sivaliks. Okay, the outermost range of the Himalayas is called Sivaliks. They extend over a width of 10 to 50 km and have an altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meters. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by rivers from the main Himalayan ranges located farther north. Uh, the Sivaliks covered with thick gravel called alluvium. Uh, the longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Sivaliks are known as dunes. Dunes like what? Dehradun, Kotli Dune and Patli Dune are some of the well-known dunes. The word Sivalik has its origin in the geological formation found in and around a place called Sivala near Dehradun, which was once a headquarter of the Imperial Survey and which subsequently established its permanent headquarters at Dehradun. Dehradun is the largest of all the dunes with an approximate length of 35 to 45 kilometer and a width of 22 to 25 kilometer. Okay, so let's talk about some of the important hill stations. Okay, then important hill stations of Himachal and Uttaranchal Himalayas are Dharamsala, Mussoorie, Simla, Kusani. Okay, the cantonment towns and health resorts. Then they are Simla, Mussoorie, Kasauli, Almora, Lansdowne, Rani Khet. Okay, the two distinguishing feature of this region is the Sivalik and the dune formations. Some important dunes are Chandigarh Kalka Dune, Nalagarh Dune, Dehradun, Harike Dune, the Kota Dune. Okay, let's talk about the Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalayas. Okay, they are flanked by Nepal Himalayas in the west and Bhutan Himalayas in the east. It is relatively a small but is a most significant part. Okay, the Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalayas, known for its fast flowing rivers such as Tista. It is a region of high mountain peaks like Kanchenjunga, which is also known as Kanchangiri, and deep valleys. Okay, the higher reaches of this region are inhabited by Lepcha tribes. While the southern part, particularly the Darjeeling Himalayas, has a mixed population of Nepalis, Bengalis, and tribals from central India. The British, taking advantage of the physical conditions such as moderate slope, thick soil cover, high organic content, well distributed rainfall throughout the year, and mild winters, introduced tea plantation in place of the Sivaliks here. The Duar formations are important, which have also been used for development of tea gardens. Okay, let's talk about Arunachal Himalayas. So these extend from the east of the Bhutan Himalayas, okay, up to the Dipu Pass in the east. Uh, the general direction of the mountain range is from southwest to northeast. Some of the important mountain peaks of the region are Kangtu and Namcha Barba. These ranges are dissected by fast flowing rivers from the north to south, forming deep gorges. Okay, Brahmaputra flows through a deep gorge after crossing Namcha Barba. Some of the important rivers are the Kameg, Subansiri, the Dihang, the Dibang, the Lohit. Okay, an important aspect of Arunachal Himalayas is the numerous ethnic tribal community inhabiting in these areas. Some of the important no some of the prominent ones. Okay, some of the prominent ones from west to east are the Monpa, Dafla, Abor, Mismi, Nishi, the Nagas. If we talk about most of these communities practice jhuming. Jhuming is what? Jhuming is a type of cultivation. Mm, okay, let's talk about the eastern hills and mountains. Okay, the eastern hills and mountains. Huh. These are part of the Himalayan mountain system having their general alignment from the north to the south direction. They are known by different local names. In the north, they are known as Pataki Boom Naga Hills. Okay, in the south, they are known as Mizo or Lusai Hills. Most of these ranges are separated from each other by numerous small rivers. The Barak is an important river in Manipur and Mizoram. The physiography of Manipur is unique by the presence of a large lake known as Loktak Lake at the center, surrounded by mountains from all sides. Mizoram, which is also known as the Molasses Basin, which is made up of soft unconsolidated deposits. Most of the rivers in Nagaland form the tributary of the Brahmaputra, while two rivers of Mizoram and Manipur are the tributaries of Barak River, which in turn is the tributary of Meghna. Okay, let's talk about some highest peaks of the Himalayas. Then Mount Everest is situated in the Nepal and Kanchenjunga is situated in the India. Makalu is situated in the Nepal, Dholagiri in Nepal, Nanga Parbat in India, okay, Annapurna in Nepal, Nanda Devi in India, Kamet, it is live. Okay, Kamet in India, Namcha Barwa in India, Gurla Mandhata in Nepal. Okay, let's talk about the Himalayas and other peninsular mountains. So here we are, the Himalayas, along with other peninsular mountains, are young, weak, and flexible in their geological structure. Mm. They are still subjected to the interplay of exogenic and endogenic forces, resulting in the development of faults, folds, and thrust plains. These mountains are tectonic in origin, okay, and dissected by fast flowing rivers which are in their youthful stage. Mm, Various landforms like George, V-shaped valleys, rapids, waterfalls. Mm. Okay, let's talk about what? Let's talk about peninsular plateau. So here we are. Let's talk about peninsular plateau. So it is rising from the height of 150 meter above the river plains up to an elevation of 600 to 900 meter is the irregular triangle known as the peninsular plateau. Delhi is in the northwest extension of Aravallis, the Rajmahal Hills in the east, the Gir Range in the west, and the Cardamom Hills in the south constitute the outer extent. Okay, so an extension of this is also seen in the northeast in the form of Shillong and Karbi Anglong Plateau. This is one of the oldest and the most stable landmass of India. The general elevation of the plateau is from the west to east. Okay, this is also proved by the pattern of the flow of rivers. Some of the important physiographic features of this region are tors, block mountains, rift valleys, spurs, bare rocky structures, series of hummocky hills, and wall-like quartzite dikes. Okay, so on the basis of the prominent relief features, the peninsular plateau can be divided into three broad groups. So here they are: the Deccan Plateau, the Central Highlands, the Northeastern Plateaus. Let's talk about let's talk about the Deccan Plateau. Okay, so the Deccan Plateau is bordered by the Western Ghats in the east, Eastern Ghats in the east, and the Satpura, Makal Range, and Mahadev Hills in the north. Western Ghats are locally known by different names such as Sahyadri in Maharashtra, Nilgiri Hills in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Okay, and Anamalai Hills and Cardamom Hills in Kerala. Okay, Western Ghats are comparatively higher in elevation and more continuous than the Eastern Ghats. Their average elevation is about 1,500 meter, with the height increasing from north to south. Anai Mudi, which is about the height of 2,695 meter, means it is the highest peak of peninsular plateau, is located on the Anamalai Hills of the Western Ghats. Most of the peninsular rivers have their origin in the Western Ghats. Eastern Ghats, comprising of the discontinuous and low hills, are highly eroded by the rivers such as the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, and the Kaveri. Some of the important ranges include the Javdi Hills, the Palkonda Range, the Nalla Malla Hills, and the Mahendragiri Hills. The eastern and the western Ghats meet each other at the Nilgiri Hills. Okay, let's talk about the Central Highlands. Okay, the Central Highlands are bounded to the west by the Aravalli Range. The Satpura Range is formed by a series of escarped plateaus on the south. The generally at an elevation varying between 600 to 900 meter above the mean sea level. It is a classic example of the relict mountains which are highly denuded and form discontinuous ranges. The extension of the peninsular plateau can be seen as far as Jaisalmer in the west. The general elevation of the Central Highlands ranges between 7,000 to 1,000 meter above the mean sea level. Uh, it slopes towards the north and northeastern direction. Most of the tributaries of the river Yamuna have their origin in the Vindhyan and Kamur ranges. Banas is the only significant tributary of the river Chambal that originates from the Aravalli in the west. Okay, let's talk about the northeastern plateaus. So, it is an extension of the main peninsular plateau. Okay, so due to the force exerted by the northeastward movement of the Indian plate at the time of the Himalayan origin, a huge fault was created between the Rajmahal Hills and the Meghalaya Plateau. Later, this depression got filled up by the deposition activity of the numerous rivers. Today, the Meghalaya and Karbi Anglong Plateau stand detached from the main peninsular block. The Meghalaya Plateau is further subdivided into three, named after the tribal groups inhabiting this region. They are the Garo Hills, the Khasi Hills, and the Jaintia Hills. Okay, an extension of this is also seen in the Karbi Anglong Hills of Assam. The Meghalaya Plateau is also rich in mineral sources like coal, iron ore, sillimanite, limestone, and uranium. This area receives maximum rainfall from the southwest monsoon. Okay, we are talking about which area? Uh, for your kind information, we are talking about the northeastern plateau. Okay, so the Meghalaya plateau has a highly eroded surface. The Cherrapunji displays a bare rocky surface devoid of any permanent vegetation cover. Okay, um, so okay, so let's have some quick facts. So there is the northern boundary of the peninsular block may be taken as irregular line running from Kutch along uh, the western flank of the Aravalli range near Delhi and then roughly parallel to the Yamuna and the Ganga as far as the Rajmahal Hills and the Ganga Delta. Okay. Uh, the northeastern parts are separated by the Malda forts in the West Bengal from the Chota Nagpur plateau. The peninsula is formed essentially by a great complex of very ancient gneisses and granites. Okay, since the Cambrian period, the peninsula has been standing like a rigid block. As a part of the Indo-Australian plate, it has been subjected to various vertical movements and block faulting. The rift valleys of the Narmada, the Tapi, and the Mahanadi and the Satpura Block mountains are some examples of it. The river valleys here are shallow with low gradients. Okay. Aravalli Hills, one of the oldest ranges of the world. The Vindhyas and the Satpura are the important ranges. The rivers Narmada and Tapi flow through these ranges. Okay, these are west flowing rivers that drain into the Arabian Sea. Western Ghats are almost continuous. The eastern Ghats are broken and uneven. The plateau is rich in minerals like coal and iron ore. The western coastal plains are very narrow. The eastern coastal plains are much broader. There are number of east flowing rivers. The rivers Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri drain into the Bay of Bengal. Okay, these rivers have formed fertile deltas at their mouths. Okay, the peninsula mostly consists of relict and residual mountains like the Aravalli Hills, the Nalla Malla Hills, the Javdi Hills, the Velikonda Hills, the Palkonda Range, the Mahendgiri Hills. Okay. Okay, let's talk about Indo-Gangetic Plains. So here we are. The third geological division of India comprises the plains formed by the river Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. It was a geosynclinal depression which attained its maximum development during the third phase of the Himalayan mountain formation, approximately about 64 million years ago. Since then, it has been gradually filled by the sediments brought by the Himalayan and peninsular rivers. Average depth of alluvial deposits in these plains ranges from 1000 to 2000 meter. Okay, let's talk about the northern plains. Okay, the northern plains formed by the interplay of the three major river systems, namely the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. The northern plain formed of alluvial soil. It spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometer. The plain being about 2,400 km long and 240 to 320 km broad, is a densely populated physiographic division. The velocity of the river decreases, which results in the formation of riverine islands. Majuli in the Brahmaputra River is the largest inhabited riverine island in the world. The rivers in their lower course are split into numerous channels due to the deposition of silt. These channels are known as distributaries. Okay, so the northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab plains, formed by the Indus and its tributaries. The larger part of this plane lies in Pakistan. Wait for a second. Okay. We are here. Majuli in the Brahmaputra river is the largest inhabited. So for today it is I think enough. We will continue this class in the next live study. Okay. So bye bye. That's it for today.